Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. I have two 40% alcohol silver rums, and they're both bottled in Kentucky, and I don't know where they're produced. All right. Well, Aristocrat is produced in the West Indies, so I know that. Aristocrat light rum, and it's a blue and white label. It says product of the West Indies, bottled by Grosscurth Distillers Company, established in 1933. It was a husband and wife distilling company, and they both died within weeks of each other in 1999. True story. They started it in 1933 and died within weeks of each other 26 years ago. And they had no children of their own, and they had a lot of foster children, but they donated a bunch of money to University of Louisville, apparently. So there it is. I paid $6.99 for this at, where did I buy this? International Market. So good deal. All right. Herbie says hello, 3:30 a.m. Uh-oh. Jason says, hello, Jay. I am enjoying watching your videos from the Utica Brewery. What year did you go there? 2016. 2016, Jason. 9 years ago. It doesn't seem that long ago, but it was. Okay. Let me update my notes here. Product of the West Indies. Now, we don't know which islands. That may change batch to batch, depending on what kind of deal they can swing. Okay. Gran Legacy, on the other hand, does not make any claim to be from the Caribbean. It says Caribbean style rum with natural flavors. So that's telling me it's probably Kentucky rum. Yes, there is a big rum distillery in Kentucky, of all things. Gran Legacy was introduced in 2006, and it was produced for sale at CVS Pharmacy. And that's where I bought this, $10.99 at CVS Pharmacy. And then they abandoned the brand. I started seeing this at independent liquor stores, Gran Legacy, and turns out they totally walked away from the trademark. And last year, Casey's General Store of the central United States, Missouri, Arkansas, other states, they assumed the trademark. They acquired the trademark, or just basically took it over because it was abandoned. Okay, but anyway, you may see this at Casey's if you live in a state which allows liquor sales at convenience stores, and I live in one of those states. I can go to any convenience store around here and buy liquor. I'm talking about the ones that choose to sell alcohol. I know there's some that don't. Discount Zone does not sell alcohol. They just don't do it. Okay, they sell cigarettes and soft drinks and gasoline, but no alcohol. But most do. Most gas stations, convenience stores in Louisiana sell beer, wine, and liquor. Definitely. Well, around here, now I can't speak to every. There's 64 parishes, and they have their own rules. Some parishes do not allow liquor sales unless you're at a liquor store. I know Caddo Parish is that way. That's up there by Shreveport. Okay, so here's the listing. Aristocrat white rum, 80%, or I should say 80 proof. Comes in a handle bottle, liter bottle, 375 bottle, and a 750. So all your different sizes, huge, big. Some of the other products that because when the Grosscurth people died, Kevin Hill took it over. Mohawk, I've never seen Mohawk rum. Quality House, I see Quality House products, so I've never seen the rum. Rico Bay, I'm familiar with that, but that's the product listing. That's all they tell you on their website. Give you no other information. Are all 50 states for liquor to be sold 21 years or older? Yeah, since the late 80s. Same with tobacco products. I'm not sure about tobacco. I know Puerto Rico still does 18-year age because they're not a state. Herbie says America is on top of everything, be it horror, military, or movies. Okay. All right, Herbie. Burley Sullivan says, you. Hey, Burley, cheers back to you. Let me get going on this because we're going to do a Joker's Wild Wednesday at the top of the hour in less than an hour, 55 minutes. So got to get rolling. Grand Legacy has been giving me endless problems. Ricardo says, cheers, Jay. Cheers to you. Grand Legacy has been giving me endless problems because I have not been able to very well apart from other rums, maybe half the time. But that's actually a benefit to them because it's very inexpensive. I paid $10.99 for this huge bottle, but yet I can't tell it apart from other more well-known rums. So that actually speaks well for Grand Legacy. I think we'd all agree with that. Yeah, neutral, kind of a neutral aroma, not a bad aroma, but nothing, too significant. Just typical rum. Burley says, hey, Herbie, have you ever seen the movie Changeling with George? Changeling with George. Now they're talking about movies. Okay, neutral over here. So aroma, appearance, identical, clear. Aroma, the same. Now the taste, let's see. I don't think Puerto Rico's singing that. All right. Tastes like a regular old rum. I don't know what else to say. It tastes like regular old rum. It's not really that great, but it's not that bad. It's good. I definitely, when it's good, probably come in at a B, 8.4, 8.5 perhaps. Solid, no problem, enjoyable. Can't take issue with it. Don't know what it is. Okay, over here. Same thing. Solid, enjoyable, regular rum flavor. Got a lot of sugar, maybe sugar cream, maybe vanilla is if they're adding vanilla flavoring to it, perhaps. I can't really say, but I can say that I like it, and I would go around the 8.4 for this one also. So do you get much difference with these? No, you don't. They look the same. They have about the same price. I don't know if you can get Aristocrat for $10.99 a handle, maybe $12.99. Still cheap. As they say in England, cheap as chips. No, I mean. But is Aristocrat like a bar rum, a well rum, a rail rum? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But yet, I didn't buy it at a bar. I bought it at a store, and there it was on the shelf, and I like it. I'm thinking now. I believe I bought it at Savannah Discount in Marrero, Louisiana, or as Google Maps calls it, Estelle, Louisiana. Whatever. Louisiana Highway 45 northbound. A very interesting store. I found Grand Legacy at CVS, but then, like I told you, I saw Grand Legacy at other independent stores like Star. So now I bet that's not the case now, since Casey's acquired it. You probably won't see Grand Legacy appearing at any other non-Casey stores. But I did pick some of the Canadian up when I went over there. I gave it to my friend David, but he didn't like it. And he said, you can have it because I'm not going to drink it. I said, okay, I'm not going to turn down Canadian whiskey. So it's really a tie, but I'm going to say, I think this one, I'm narrowing it down. I think this is the Grand Legacy just by virtue of that little vanilla note, which is not, this camera has trouble focusing. It's not profound, but it is noticeable. Now, if I listened to that thought or in 5 other videos, I probably would have gotten them correct, because I kept I kept thinking, oh, that's vanilla. Well, maybe it's the other one though. Maybe it's the other one. And no, it's every time it's the Grand Legacy. So it says on the bottle they add natural flavors. That doesn't really mean much because if you read your regulations, any rum can have flavoring added and they don't have to put it on the label. In this case, for Grand Legacy, they do put it on the label. For Aristocrat, they make no statement to that effect, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have flavoring. It might have a little tweak of flavor. Yeah. So, winner or loser? Honestly, there's no winner or loser here. They're both fine. I don't have an issue. I don't take issue with either one, but I like both, and I would recommend both. You know, assuming the price is low. But I was able to tell them apart, and that was not too easy, but you know, wasn't monstrously difficult. All right, so tomorrow morning I'm going to try to bring in this one from, well, it's from the West Indies, but it's bottled in Philadelphia, and I found it at a store in a town called Reserve, Louisiana. You ever heard of a name like that? That's the name of the town, Reserve, Louisiana, and it's a historical name because the land was actually reserved for someone. Truth, that's true. It was reserved for someone. But I saw it. They had the 80 proof and the 151 proof, and I wasn't buying the 151. And I went back a year later just to check, you know, see if they had it, and they didn't. They don't have it anymore. So I never saw Bocador in my life except for Don's Country Store in Reserve, Louisiana. I'm glad I bought it because it was like $8.99 for the liter. Not a bad price. But like I said, I paid $6.99 for the Aristocrat. But it's good stuff, and it's bottled in Philadelphia. Yeah, and there's no website listing, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, y'all take care, and catch y'all in about 48 minutes. Bye-bye.